Hello guys, my name is Lasha and today I will be teaching you pre-intermediate lesson about vocabulary and our topic is books and movies. I see that we already have a lot of students waiting for us. Very good. Hi Engin, Ayça, Ahmet, Alpan, Deniz, Sevinç, Yeliz. Do we have any other comment? And Sıla. I hope you are doing fine and today we will learn some words about books and movies. Then I will ask you to give me examples using these words. We will also read a short story about one type of book and then we will do a little quiz. Hi to Zuhal, Songul and Engin. Okay, so if you are ready, we can start. When we are talking about books, first of all, we need to talk about people, about books. First word that I want to explain to you is an author. Author is someone who creates the book, who writes the book, okay? Writer has very similar meaning. Also, writer is a person who writes a story or writes a book. For playwright is the person who writes play, theater performance, okay? Not a book, but theater performance. A poet is a person who writes poetry and who writes poem. Now, can you please give me examples of these four words? Let me make it bigger for you so you can see better. For example, I can ask you a question, who is your favorite author or who is your favorite writer? Guys, can you please write your answers on our YouTube or Facebook page and I will be writing your answers here, okay? Let me check our Facebook page as well. I will be writer. Hello, Ersin. So we have first answer from Mehmet, Dan Brown. Mehmet's favorite writer is Dan Brown. Let me write it for you. Mehmet's favorite writer is Dan Brown. Good. Selenay wrote also an answer. I will write it for author, okay, Selenay? Selenay's favorite author is Zulfu Livaneli. Okay, and I can give you example about a poet. My favorite poet is Lado Asatiani. He is Georgian poet. Turgut Uyar for Nalan. Okay, I can write that one as well. Is Turgut Uyar and Azra Cohen writers or are they poets? Are they writers or poets, guys? Nalan says poet. Okay, I will write Nalan's example. Nalan's favorite poet is Turgut Uyar. And also we have answer from Zuhal about a writer. Zuhal's favorite writer is Azra Cohen. Arza Cohen. No, Azra. Okay, I think enough. Now also we should talk about other people, about books. First of all, a bookseller is the person who sells books. For example, if you go to BKM shop, people who work there, they are booksellers. Book reader is the person who reads the book. And a librarian is the person who works at a library. Maybe you don't know library. Library is a place where you go to read books, or you can also take some books home for 3 days or 4 days. Then you take back the books. Let's write some examples using these words. For example, I can say that my mother is a librarian. And as for bookseller and book reader, if you have example, guys, you can write your sentences, or if you don't have example, I can also help and I can write the example for you. A bookseller BKM is a famous book selling shop in Turkey. And for book reader, I can write something like this. I'm not a big book reader. I don't like reading books a lot, unfortunately. So this is my sentence. Hello, Tolga. Ahmet is asking something about YDS, and YDS lesson is today at 9 o'clock, as I remember. Let me check it for Ahmet. Sorry guys, I will check this information for him because it's important to understand what time is the lesson. Yes, today at 9 p.m. is YDS lesson. Ahmet, also you can visit our Instagram page and you will see the whole program of the lessons. Miss Gulchan is a book reader. Okay, I will write that. On the other hand, Miss Gulchan is a book reader. Okay. Hi, Buse and Jasim, or Kasim. I don't know how to pronounce this one. Now let's move to the genres. Genre is same with type or kind. Azime is with us, as usual. Type or kind. But when we are talking about books and movies, usually we don't say type of book, but we say the genre of book. I agree with you, Mehmet. All of us should be good readers. Now, when we are talking about genres, we have two most important definitions. We have non-fiction and we have fiction. Do you know the meaning of non-fiction and fiction, guys? Non-fiction is real stories. Real stories. Fiction is something which is not real. It is created by writer, but it's not real story. Okay, so non-fiction we can say is real, and this one is creation of something. Now, what kind of non-fiction books do we have, or what genres? We have biography. Biography is when somebody writes about another person's life story. This is called biography. As for autobiography, it is when you write about your life. Okay, autobiography is when person writes about his life or her life, himself, okay? As for the diary, diary is something like you write every day what happened during the day. This kind of writing we call diaries. Mehmet, can you write the full sentence about Mustafa Kemal Atatürk? And I will use it as an example. Guys, can you give me some sentences using these words? Biography, autobiography, or a diary? For example, if you know someone's biography book, you can tell me and I will write it for you. I can write maybe about autobiography, my sentence. When I get old, I want to write an autobiography. Mehmet, can you tell me who wrote Mustafa Kemal Atatürk's biography? Is there a book about Mustafa Kemal Atatürk's biography? And do you know who is the writer? I will use it in a sentence. Now, as for diaries, I can say that travel diaries are very popular. A lot of people like writing their days when they are traveling, what they see during the day and what they do during the day, okay? And I'm waiting for the sentence about biography. At the same time, we can continue with the other words. Yılmaz Özdil wrote Mustafa Kemal Atatürk's biography. Okay. Yılmaz Özdil wrote Mustafa Kemal Atatürk's biography. Thank you, Mehmet. And also Nalan has a sentence. He did not write a date of birth in her biography. Okay, we can use this sentence. He did not write the date of birth in her biography. Okay, thank you, guys. Now we can move to fiction books. In fiction books, we have different genres. Pelin, there is a little bit difference between a writer and author. Writer is someone who writes books and stories. Author is a person who creates idea. So sometimes author and writer can be different. For example, I have an idea about a book, but I'm not good at writing, so I ask another person to write. So I'm the author for this book, maybe. Another person is writer of the book. Ahmet wants to start writing nowadays because he can't remember every story about his life. Yeah, it's very good. Maybe you should start writing diaries. Let's write here. Ahmet wants to start writing a diary. You're welcome, Pelin. So when we are talking about fiction, we have different types or different genres. Of course, we have action and adventure. It's very popular for all kids, usually. Then we have drama stories. I love dramas a lot. Fairy tale, you understand, yes? Like Cinderella, the Seven Dwarfs, these kind of things are fairy tale. Fantasy stories, I think you understand as well, because we use the same word in Turkish as well. Horror books are books which make you scared. You are afraid when you are reading. Romance is a love story. For example, Romeo and Juliet, I think, is the most famous love story of all time. Mystery is something which is difficult to understand. We don't know what is happening when we are reading because it does not look like real life situation. There is something mystical about it. Science fiction is, of course, unreal stories like Spider-Man and these kind of things. These are science fiction. Let's write some sentences using these words, and then I will explain what is fable, and I will give you one example about fable. Okay, so I want your sentences on these words. My question can be, for example, what's your favorite genre of books? Or what kind of books do you usually read? I'm waiting for your answers, guys. I can write for myself with drama. I said that I love dramas. I love reading dramas. Do we have other people interested in other genres of books? Does anyone like horror books, or maybe do you like fantasy stories, or any girls interested in romance? Buse usually reads mystery books. Okay, let's write this sentence here, mystery. Buse usually reads mystery books. Good one. Any other example, guys? Selenay says, in the past I used to read romance, but nowadays I love reading action and adventure. Okay, I will write it for romance. Selenay used to read romance, but nowadays she loves reading action and adventure. Good. Mehmet gave me another sentence. Marvin Albert is a good mystery writer. Okay, let's write it. Marvin Albert is a good mystery writer. Thank you. Azmi likes dramas and biographic novels. Okay. Azime likes dramas, and biographic novels. Sila's favorite genre is science fiction. Okay, let's write it. Sila's favorite genre is science fiction. Good. Next word that I would like to explain to you is fable. Fable is a short story, and usually writers use animals in fables, and fables teach us some kind of moral. It gives us lesson about life. Okay? I wanted to show you a little fable, so let's read this little fable together. Then I will ask you what is the lesson of this story, okay? Here we go. We have a fable about the wolf and his shadow. I will read it, then I will give you also some time so you read by yourself, and then I will ask you the questions. A wolf left his lair one evening in fine spirits and an excellent appetite. As he ran, the setting sun cast his shadow far out in the ground, and it looked as if the wolf were 100 times bigger than he really was. "Why?" exclaimed the wolf proudly. "See how big I am? Aha! Fancy me!" He started running away from a puny lion. "I will show him who is fit to be king, he or I." Just then, an immense shadow blotted him out entirely, and the next instant a lion struck him down with a single blow. I hope you could understand this story, guys. I will give you some time now so you can read by yourself as well. Yes, Azime, you are correct. Fable gives us lessons about relationship and gives us life lessons. So there was a wolf, and one day when the wolf was walking, the sun made the shadow. This is the shadow, guys. If the sun shines, your reflection on the ground, this is called shadow. So the shadow was very big, 100 times bigger than the wolf. Okay? The wolf became very proud and he said, "Aha, I will go to the lion and I will say that I'm king, not the lion." But when the wolf continued walking, sun disappeared. Sun went off. So wolf became normal again, actual size, not the shadow. And lion started fighting and lion hit the wolf. So what is the lesson behind this story? What does it teach us? Let me check Facebook as well. Maybe we have some comments there. Guys, what is the lesson of this story? What does it show us? I think the moral of this story, the lesson of this story is that we should always look at realities and we should see the reality. In real, wolf is not bigger than lion, but he thought he was bigger. He seemed that he was bigger. That's why he became very brave, but we should not do the same. We should always see the reality and real things in life. So the moral or the lesson of the story is we should always see the reality and don't forget it. Okay, now let's continue our lesson, and I will copy this one for the example of fable. The Wolf and His Shadow is a famous fable by Aesopus. This is the writer, guys, okay? Next words that we will learn are about parts of the story. There are several parts in the story. Some parts are for every story, but some words are not for every story. For example, epilogue. Not every story has epilogue or prologue, okay? These words come, of course, from Latin, epilogue and prologue. Maybe you know the meaning of them. One of them is a short story, a short speech at the end of the play. One of them is a short story in the beginning of the story. Okay? Do you know which one is at the beginning and which one is at the end of the story, guys? Which one is in the beginning and which one is at the end? Epilogue and prologue. Buse, you are correct. Epilogue is at the end of the story and prologue is at the beginning of the story. Okay? Good job, Buse. Some plays, usually plays have it, I will write. Some plays have epilogue and prologue. Not every story or every book have these. Story. I think everyone understands the meaning of the word story. This is the whole situation, all the actions which happen in the book. The whole actions together we call a story. Another word for story is plot. This is more popular actually when we are talking about books or movies. We usually use plot. Plot is more popular than story. Can you guys give me example with these words, story or plot? For example, maybe you can say a book's name and it has interesting story. Which book has interesting story or good plot. So let's write some sentences and use the word story or plot in the sentence. Which book has interesting story? Ahmed gave me an example. Sometimes I forget to take an Instagram story. Also, yes, we can write Instagram story, yes. Ahmed sometimes forgets to share a story on Instagram. And we have sentence from Buse is interesting. Sophie's choice. Sophie's choice maybe is interesting story. The next word that we will learn is chapter. Chapter is little parts in the book. Sometimes the book has only one chapter, or sometimes the book has many chapters. I'm not talking about pages, guys. Page is different, but chapter is like one part and second part and third part of the story, okay? And we say the series when we are talking about different books with the same name. For example, Harry Potter series. Yes, we know that there are 7 different series. I think maybe I'm mistaken. I don't like Harry Potter series. And I'm reading currently a book. The book's name is The Fallen Curtain, and it has several chapters. So I will write my example. The Fallen Curtain has several chapters. Several means, guys, some. Not a lot, not many, but some. And The Fallen Curtain is the name of the book. So maybe I can make it italic and you understand better. Now let's talk about the characters in the books or in the novel. Character is a person in the story, in the book, okay? For example, Harry is a character in Harry Potter. And we have 2 types of characters. We have main characters, another name can be maybe lead character, and we have minor characters, okay? Can you give me example of one book and tell me who is the main character and who is the minor character? Minor character is not main character, okay? I like Lord of the Rings. Azime likes Lord of the Ring series. Okay, I can change my sentence with Azime's sentence. Azime likes the Lord of the Rings. Ring series. Good. I think everybody knows the Lord of the Rings. So maybe we can talk about this book, Lord of the Rings. Who are the main characters and who are the minor characters? Main character is the most important character. Minor character, not so important. Cyril says Wolf is a main character. In our fable, yes. Okay, we can write that one. True. The wolf is a main character in The Wolf and His Shadow. Correct. Azime, Frodo, and Sam, are they main characters or minor characters? Okay. Minor character, maybe we can say. Who is the minor character in The Lord of the Rings, guys? Who is the minor character in Lord of the Rings? To be honest, I have not read this book, so I don't really remember information about the book. I watched the movie, first one, but I don't remember, so I cannot give you example about this one. We have from Azime, Boromir. Boromir is a minor character. Shahin says Legolas. Okay, let's write Boromir and Legolas are minor characters. Good. Next word that we will learn is a hero. Hero is a good person in the story or in the book. And if we are talking about men, we say hero. So this one is man. If we want to talk about woman, we say heroine. Who is your favorite hero or heroine, guys? Who is your favorite hero or heroine? Can you write some sentences for me? Who is your favorite hero or heroine? Okay, Esma said Iron Man is a hero, correct. Good. Guys, try to write sentences. You can write short sentence, but a sentence. And Selil's favorite heroine is Annie in, as I remember, this is TV series and the name is Annie without E. Okay, let's write Shahin's sentence also. Shahin's favorite hero is Spartacus. Ivan thinks Batman is not a hero. Okay. And if we are talking about a bad person in the movie or book, we use the word villain. Villain is a man or woman, does not matter. It can be man, it can be also woman. There is no difference. Do you like any villains, guys? Do you like any bad guys, bad women or bad men in books? There's a question from Esma. My mom is my heroine. Is it correct? Absolutely correct, Esma. And Anime says my favorite villain is a Joker. Okay, I can write this sentence. Anime's favorite villain is Joker. Do you like any other villains, guys? Villain. Do you remember any villains from books? I don't remember from the books, but I remember from a cartoon. One of my favorite villain from the cartoons is in Cinderella, her stepmother. I'm writing Shahin's sentence. Medusa is the most famous villain in the world. Voldemort is also, yes, popular villain. Thank you, guys. So during this lesson, what have we done? Let's check. We learned some words. We learned some words about books. We talked about people who write the book, who reads the book. Then we talked about the genres of the books, fiction and non-fiction, both. We discussed parts of a story and characters in the book. Also, we read a short story, short fable about the wolf and his shadow. And we learned the lesson. Let me write also here one word. When we read the fables, the fable gives us a life lesson. This life lesson also we can say the moral. So moral is also life lesson from book. The moral of the wolf and his shadow is to see everything okay. So the lesson of this story or the moral of this story is to always see the reality in life. Okay, now let's have a break, and 15 minutes later I will be back with you. Okay? Please wait for 15 minutes and I will be back. We will learn some more words and we will do a little quiz. Hi again, I'm back with you and we will continue learning some words about books and also movies. Okay, we stopped about the characters. Now let's learn some other words related to books. The first word that we can learn is bedtime reading. This is a very popular phrase in English and we use this phrase bedtime reading to talk about the books which we usually read before sleeping. For example, if you have little children, maybe you read some stories before they go to sleep in their bed, and these kind of stories we can say are bedtime reading. Okay. A classic is a book or movie with a very good quality. Usually we say classic about old movies or books. So for a long time it has been, and always a lot of people read it or a lot of people watch it. These kind of things we call a classic, okay? Not something new or real. Ebook, everybody understands that in 21st century we use a lot of e-readers and we have some applications, or also we have something like a tablet which is only for reading books, and we need e-books to read on computer or tablet or telephone or etc. Now when we are talking about books, we have two kinds of printed books. We have paperback books and we have hardcover. Paperback is the book which is covered with paper only. Hardcover book is very thick, very heavy, let's say. Probably you understand what is hard cover, not soft cover. I think these 5 words are enough now to talk about them, and can you please help me to create some sentences using these words? Bedtime reading, classic, ebook, paperback, or hardcover. I can give you one example about paperback and hardcover books. If you are traveling, it is easier to take paperback books. When you are traveling, it's better to take paperback books, because when we are traveling we always have problem with luggage, how many kilos we can take and etc. So paperback books are not heavy, that's why it is better to take paperback book with you. Guys, what is your favorite bedtime reading? Or maybe think about when you were a kid, what was your favorite bedtime reading? When your mothers or fathers, grandmothers read books and stories for you before you went to bed. What was your favorite bedtime reading? For a classic, maybe I can also write an example for you. Romeo and Juliet is a classic. Everybody knows the story by Shakespeare, and definitely it is a classic because it has been for many years and it is still popular. People still love reading it. Guys, can you please help me with bedtime reading or ebook or hardcover books? When my sons were children, I used to read them some stories in bedtime reading. Okay, let's use Azim as example. When Azim's sons were kids, she used to read some stories to them for bedtime reading. Eren likes to read by himself. Okay. Eren, do you like to read ebooks? Does anyone like to read ebooks? To read books on internet, on computer, a telephone? Okay, let's use Eren's example. Eren likes reading ebooks. Good. Next words that I will explain to you is page turner. Page turner is a very, very interesting book which makes you turn the pages. You continue reading and reading and reading. You are so interested in the book. This kind of book we call a page turner. Another phrase with the same meaning is could not put it down. So these two have the same meaning. Page turner and could not put it down we can use for the same book. Bestseller is very successful book. Bestseller. So a lot of books were sold. For example, I can say that J.K. Rowling is the best-selling author. Do you know J.K. Rowling, guys? She wrote the Harry Potter series and she is one of the best-selling authors in the world. Now let's write example for page turner. Which book do you think is a page turner? Tell me the name of the books which are so interesting that you can't stop reading. For me, I can say The Color Purple. This is one of my favorite books and it has very interesting story and I could not put it down when I was reading. While I was reading The Color Purple, I could not put it down. I can say the same sentence like this. The Color Purple is a page turner. Okay? If you give me another example, I will change my example with yours. The Color Purple is a page turner. So it is very, very interesting to read this book because of the story. A bookworm is a person who reads a lot. Sometimes we use this word with bad meaning also. Sometimes it has normal, neutral meaning. Do you understand bookworm, guys? Bookworm, it means a person who reads a lot. Okay? Is anyone a bookworm? Do you like reading very, very much? I'm definitely not. Eren is not, but Azime says that she is, and also Esma. So I can write about Azime and Esma are bookworms. So they love reading a lot. The next phrase that I will explain to you is reader-friendly. Reader-friendly we use not about books, but we use about other things. For example, you buy a new laptop or you buy a new TV, and the TV comes with some instructions. Instruction, you understand, yes? A little book, how to use the TV, how to set up TV, and etc. So if it is very easy to understand instructions, we will say reader-friendly. Or also we can say user-friendly. Sometimes we can also use about fiction books, maybe, reader-friendly. But I will use example about instructions. The instruction manual was reader-friendly. So it was very easy to understand everything. As a reader, I did not have any problem. We finished talking about books. Now let's move to movies and learn some words and phrases about movies. First of all, let's talk about people. Do you remember in the books we said main characters and minor characters? When we are talking about movies, we will say the lead roles and supporting roles. Lead roles are the main characters of the movie, and supporting role is not main character. Also, we have extra. Extra is the person who is in a group scene in the movie. We don't know the name and the person maybe does not speak at all, but in the movie, for example, the main character walks on the street and there are a lot of people on the street. These people are extras, okay, in the movie. Stuntman is a person who is used for dangerous roles. For example, imagine that in the movie, person jumps from the window. Probably the actor or actress will not do this. They don't want to risk their life, and he or she will not jump, but they will use another person who is professional for these kind of things. This professional is called stuntman. Professional has experience in dangerous scenes of the movie. I will use Aaron's sentence for extras. He saw a lot of extras in the movie. Guys, do you know who plays the lead roles in Titanic? The most famous movie of all time. Who plays lead roles in Titanic? The man and the woman. Who are they? Can you tell me the names or can you give me sentence? Yeah, Leonardo DiCaprio and the woman. Do you know the woman's name? It starts with letter K. Good job, Azime. Kate Winslet play lead roles in Titanic. Good. Supporting roles, we said not main roles, other roles. I can give you example for this. Jennifer Hudson plays a supporting role in Dreamgirls. Stuntman, you understand, and I will not give you example for stuntman. Now let's talk about the movie director or producer. Probably you understand the meaning. This is a person who produces the movie, who directs the movie. Do you know any famous director or producers? Turkish or non-Turkish? You can give me example. Who is your favorite director? Costume designers, you understand. It doesn't need any explanation. I will write an example like this. Costume designers need to create a lot of costumes for movies. Azime's favorite producer is Quentin Tarantino. Let's write this sentence. Azime's favorite producer, and also I have a sentence from Esma. Nuri Bilge Ceylan is famous director in Turkey. Okay. Nuri Bilge Ceylan is a famous film director in Turkey. Azime also likes Steven Spielberg. I also like Steven Spielberg. Cameraman. Cameraman is the person who uses the camera and shoots the movie. This person is called cameraman. Okay? I'm sure you don't know any names of the cameramen because these people are not very popular when we are talking about movies. When we watch the movies, we don't usually check who is cameraman. Staging director. Staging director is person who is responsible for all the stage, all the decorations. But this person does not paint decorations. We are not talking about the painter, but the person who puts everything on correct place. For example, there is a movie happening in my bedroom, let's say, and staging director chooses the bed. Where should be the bed? Where should be the table? And what kind of color of curtain there should be. So this is staging director's job, okay? Staging director chooses props for the movie. props is all little things used in the movie for decoration. For example, if we are shooting a movie in my bedroom and you see my bed is prop. Or you see maybe a bag in my bedroom, this is also a prop, okay? The next word that we will learn is casting manager and cast. Cast is all actors and actresses together. All actors of the movie together, we call them cast, the whole group. Casting manager is a person who chooses actors and actresses for the movie, okay? Casting manager selects the cast for the movie. Choreographer, probably you understand, is person who creates dance for the movie. This person is choreographer. Do you know any famous choreographer? Maybe in Turkey, no, not in Turkey. I can give you example, but my example will be about Georgia, and maybe you don't know the person. Iliko Sukhishvili is a famous choreographer in Georgia. If you have another example, I will change it, guys. Now, let's see some other words about movies. First one that I wanted to discuss with you is set in. Set in has same meaning with happen. We usually use this word when we are talking about the story of the book or story of the movie, and when we want to say where it happens or when it happens. In this situation, we use set in, okay? To talk about where it happens. For example, let's talk about Romeo and Juliet again. Where does it set in? Romeo and Juliet. Do you remember, guys, where it set in? Let's see your answers. Do you remember the city name or country, maybe, if you don't remember the city? No, Esma, it's not set in England. Zainab is correct. Romeo and Juliet is set in Verona, Italy. Good. Review is what people write about book or movie. So people's comments about movie or book we call reviews. For example, there is a website, IMDb. Do you know this website, IMDb, Internet Movie Database? Yes, Selenay, Verona is in Italy. I always check reviews on IMDb. So I read reviews about books on IMDb. Critics These are people who write official reviews about movies. They are professionals about movies and they write the review of movies. The critics said movie was fantastic, for example. I'm sure you understand the word trailer. Trailer is a short part of the movie, like 2 minutes, 3 minutes. This is like advertisement, short part of the movie, which is usually shown before the movie comes out. Okay? Do you like watching trailers, guys? I'm waiting for your answers, and I will explain next word, awards. Awards is what you win. For example, Oscar awards, Golden Globe, these kind of awards, we can say. Esma, I think in Turkish it is fragman. Trailer is short part of the movie. Again, let's use same example, Romeo and Juliet has a lot of awards. To be based on, we use this phrase if we want to say that a movie or book takes story from real life. So it's a true story. In this situation, we will say the book is based on true story. Okay? Let me write this example for you. The book is based on a true story. So this story really happened in real life and the writer copied this story in the book. We will say the book is based on a true story, or the movie or play is based on true story. A box office hit or blockbuster, we say about a movie which makes a lot of money. So if the book brings a lot of money, this kind of not books, we usually say this one for movie. This kind of movie we can say is a box office hit or a blockbuster. Do you like watching blockbusters, guys? Personally, I don't like blockbusters. This can be my example for it. Release is a verb and also noun we can use in both situations. When we are talking about movies, we can use the verb release to explain when movie comes out. Okay, when movie becomes available. It is the release of the movie. Azime, I don't understand your question. A book or story? Which word are you asking me? Release. So we can say my movie will be released next month. Maybe I'm a film director and I already shooted a movie and next month it will be out in the cinema, so it will be released. We use the phrase on the big screen when we are talking about cinema. Okay? So if you watch movies at the cinema, for example, you can say, I watched it on a big screen. I watched this movie on a big screen. When you say on the big screen, it means at the cinema. Okay? Yes, Azime, we can say the book is based, the novel is based, the story is based on real life. All of them are okay. Script. We use script to talk about the writing of movie or play at the theater, not the book. Book first comes out as a book, but if there is no book and directly we decide to make a movie and we write something for this movie, this will be script. This will not be book. Okay? Probably everyone understands the word soundtrack. Soundtrack is the music used in the movie. My Heart Will Go On is a soundtrack of Titanic. Cartoon, you understand, is anime, okay? What is your favorite cartoon, guys? Do you like watching cartoons, and which one do you like the most? For me, probably one of the most favorite cartoons is Tom and Jerry. And also I liked Snow White and Seven Dwarfs. Azmi also says Tom and Jerry, like me, and Efe's favorite one is SpongeBob. Efe's favorite cartoon is SpongeBob. Smurfs for Esma and Gumball for Selenay. Okay. Subtitles is when you are watching a movie and there are some writings down of the movie. These we call subtitles. For example, you are watching a movie in English, but you don't understand English very well. Maybe you will watch the movie with subtitles. There is a question from Pelin. I don't understand blockbuster. Blockbuster means very successful movie. Movie which brings a lot of money. My advice to you guys, don't use subtitles when you are watching something. If you are elementary level, it is totally okay, or pre-intermediate, okay. But if you are intermediate, upper intermediate, or advanced student, you should not use subtitles for English videos. Series or TV series, you understand that this is a kind of movies, but it's not just one part, it is part by part. And each part we call episode, okay? My favorite TV series is, I have a lot of favorite TV series, but this time I will write probably That's So Raven. Yes, Selena, even English subtitles, because when you watch something with subtitles, you are reading subtitles. So you understand the video, but you are not practicing listening skill. If you want to practice your listening, don't use subtitles. My favorite episode is when Raven meets her cousin. Thank you, Kum. And star, everybody understands what is the meaning of star. Star is a person who is very, very good at something and who is very famous and popular. Guys, now let's do a little test. We have still some time, maybe 10 minutes. We can do the test. Here we go. First question. There are some great actors in the cast, shoots, or screenplay. Which one do you think for number one? A, B, or C? We have correct answer from Efe and Azime. Cast, absolutely true. Sıla also. Number two. The actor who won the Oscar has acted, been, or played many similar roles before. What do you think about number two, guys? The actor acted many roles, actor been many roles, or actor played many roles? We have correct answer from Esma, Muharrem, Efe, and Selil. Played, correct. Number three, he won an Oscar for the, okay, let's take it like this. He won an Oscar for the music, sound play, or soundtrack. What do you think, guys? Which one do we need to use? Azime says soundtrack. Yes, Azime's soundtrack will be correct here. And also we can say actually for music also this is possible. Both of them can be correct. Number four, he won a extra actor Oscar, main actor Oscar, or supporting actor Oscar. Here everybody thinks main actor, but this is not correct, guys. We don't say main actor. We say leading actor. We say main character, but leading actor or lead role. Correct answer here is supporting. Pelin, Muharrem, and Veli are correct. Number five. The director is very famous, the editor is famous, the register is famous. Which word do you think we need here? Director, editor, or register? I see correct answer already coming from a lot of students. Everyone says director. Yes, it is true. Number six, I love watching all the old Hollywood big screens, classics, or studios. Veli, Efe, Küm, Azime, Hayrunisa, Sıla, Muharrem, all of you are correct. Classics, of course. Question number 7. The film was produced by one of the big Hollywood companies, films, or studios. Which one can we say? Hollywood studios, Hollywood films, firms, or Hollywood companies? We already have correct answers from Hayrunisa, Veli, Efe, Sıla, Küm, and Pelin. Of course, we need studios and Esma. Good. Number 8. His new film is located in California, placed in California, or set in California. We learned this one, guys. We talked about Romeo and Juliet, and we used this phrase. Azime was the first one with correct answer, and everyone says the same thing. Set in California. True. Question number 9. It was filmed in location in Hawaii, on location in Hawaii, or by location in Hawaii. Now here we need some grammar knowledge. When we are talking about a place, what do we use? In, on, or by? Esma and Sıla are correct. Küm also, and Hayrunisa, and everyone says on. Good job. Number 10. The film includes some spectacular light effects, special effects, or sound effects. Which one is correct? Light effect, special effects, or sound effects? We have correct answer from students. Efe thinks all of them are correct. No, Efe, because we don't say light effects, we say lighting effects maybe. And for sound effects, we will use sound effects. Yeah, we can say maybe, but special effects is the best answer. Maybe sound system, but not effects that much. Question number 11. I saw a great preview, prequel, or trailer for his new film. I'm definitely going to see it when it comes out. I saw a great preview, prequel, or trailer. Yeah, we have already correct answers. Trailer is true. Question number 12. There are some violent roles, scenes, or stage effects in his film. FA is correct. Here we need scenes. Scenes, it means like episodes. Number 13, as it's a thriller, the acting, character, or plot has lots of twists and turns. Twists and turn we use when we want to talk about when situation changes a lot, from good to bad, from rich to poor, this kind of twists and turn. What can change? Acting, character, or plot? I see possible answers from students. Everyone thinks character. It can be correct, but plot is better answer for this one. We can say actually both, character or plot. But plot is better because character has lots of twists and turns. One character cannot have lots of twists and turns. The whole plot is better. Story. Number 14, the film tells the account of a young man, life of a young man, or story of a young man. Which one do you think is correct? The film tells the account of a young man, life of a young man, or story of a young man? Very good job, Efe. Correct answer here is story, and Esma, you are also correct. Why? Because grammatically, we cannot say tell life. We can say tell the story. Okay? Number 15, it's a real to life story, similar to life story, or true to life story. This one is a phrase. Maybe you don't know this phrase. Two words here have same meaning, but because this is a phrase, for this phrase we use true to life story, and Veli is correct for this one. Thank you guys very much. The lesson was very interesting today. We learned a lot of words and phrases about books and movies. I wish you to stay safe and healthy and hope to see you for my next lessons. Don't forget, today at 2 o'clock there is a grammar lesson and you can also join this lesson. Have a good day. Bye bye.